New patterns keep dropping. This time we are looking at Burda Styles 2024 spring pattern release. Hi, I'm Tiffany of Tip Stitch and welcome to my YouTube channel where we discuss all things sewing and DIY. Well, we are going to jump right into looking at this latest release. We are going to do what we typically do, which is start with the lower number pattern and work our way up to the highest number pattern. I am going to skip the kids pattern, even though Burda is calling itself the wardrobe of the family, just for the sake of time, but we will be looking at all of the women's and men's patterns in this drop. We are going to start with 5803, which is a dress that I think is super cute. You guys know, or maybe you don't, but now you know that I love a wrap front bodice. Whether it's a real wrap dress or a faux wrap dress, don't care. I love a wrap bodice, and that's what we have here. I do not love this floral print, but I like the elastic waist, and the elbow sleeves are neither a pro or a con, just sort of in between. So you can see here you have above the knee. This one is right at the knee with a little bit of trim at the bottom hem. And then you have view C, which is a full length dress or a midi length dress with an additional gathered tier to add here. And you could really do this kind of dress in any woven. It works in something drapier like a crepe or a challis or any kind of rayon, but it would also work with a lighter weight shirting or linen or gingham or whatever. So this is a cute dress. My only sort of qualm with this is very similar to McCall's 8035, which I already own, which has the wrap front. It also has a few more sleeve options. So if I was going to choose, I would probably go with that one. But I think it has a petal sleeve and a full length balloon sort of gathered sleeve. And I think there's a third sleeve. And it also comes, I think, in 3 lengths, although its full length doesn't have the gather and it has a nice side slit that I think is really cute. But they're similar enough that you should just pick whichever one you would prefer, whichever one has more views that you would wear. But it is very similar to McCall's 8035. This is not a pattern that I would typically go for, but I actually like this sort of beach or pool accessories pattern. It's really cute. You can see here that there are a couple of options. You have this hooded cover up that I think could be cute and made in a variety of fabrics. You could do it in a mesh, you could do it in a French terry, you could do it in a waffle knit. Like, you could really have a lot of fun with this one. There's also the option for this sort of like small duffel bag with a coin purse, which would be cute as you have here with the glasses, and stick your cell phone in that front pocket. You could also throw your magazines and your water bottles in there that you're going to take down to the pool or to the beach. There are other duffel bag patterns that maybe I would go with first, but this is already in here, so it's cute. And then you also have like this swim towel mat that's reversible and then folds up into its own bag as well. So I just think this is cute. As a sun water kind of girly myself, like I like to be out by the pool or the beach. I could actually see myself using all of these. You can see by the line drawings that everything's pretty simple, straight stitches. The hardest thing to do would probably be the duffel, because you would have to insert a zipper, but zippers and bags are easier than zippers and garments to me. So I think this is a really cute one that I will probably actually grab. I don't have a lot of Burda patterns, but I do think I would get some use out of this one. Burda is a bit all over the place with their numbering because we went from 5803 to 07 to 09, but this is a cute knit shirt. We are going to look at the line drawings first. It's basically just an elevated t-shirt. You can see here that view A, B, and C all have a gathered sort of poof sleeve of different lengths. And you can see view B and C have a contrast for the sleeve. And when we look at the actual photos here, we can see why they have done that. You can see here on view A, it is the same fabric and you have this little short puff sleeve. If you move on to view B, you'll see that you have more of like a half sleeve almost to the elbow. And this time they've used this like sort of embroidered, embellished lace for the sleeve. And then on view C, you can see you have past the elbow length and you have this sort of Swiss dot sheer fabric for the sleeve, or a mesh maybe, but I don't know. All 3 of these are cute and I could definitely see them being worn, but for me, this is very similar to Simplicity 9273. And I already have that pattern. I've made it a couple of times. It actually gives you a few more variations in the sleeve. Like, yes, here A, B, and C all have a different sleeve, but it's really just lengthened or shortened. But the Simplicity pattern has 3 different kinds of sleeve, like a tuck sleeve, a poof sleeve, and I don't know, I think there's a third one. But either way, I sort of think that pattern has a little bit more variety. But knit t-shirts are great for the spring and summer and a staple of any wardrobe. So you couldn't go wrong with either pattern. I just would probably go with the Simplicity one. I really think that this 5811 would work well with 5807 because they're both giving me like pool beach vibes. This, of course, could be a skirt that you wore out with an ensemble like you have here on the first model with this tank top. It's going to have this elastic waist with this gathered side drawstring for a skirt. So I think it's cute, but I really like it better here as more of a cover up with a swimsuit because it's giving me very like easy breezy, but I don't know. It just is screaming more of a cover up to me than an actual skirt, but you could definitely wear it both ways because you can see here on view C in the longer length, they've paired it with a domine sleeve, like sort of t-shirt as well. So this could work for all 3. I think it's really cute. It would probably be a really quick and easy sew. I think they probably rate it as easy or very easy. Yes, they rate it here as very easy. So you could see that that would work. I just definitely would probably go, oh, they don't have a line drawing here. I would probably go with more of a swimsuit cover up for this, but you could do whatever. You could play with this how you want. We have our first men's pattern with 5814, and this is actually a nice pattern. It's a cargo pant, proving that cargo pants are still going to be in style this spring. The difference that you can see here, and you can sort of see on the line drawing, is you're going to have a little bit more slimness in the leg. Typically, when you think of cargo, you think of more oversized, you think of more baggy, or at least sort of straight leg. And this is definitely more tapered. You actually may be able to see it better on the model. So let's take a look at that. You can see the pants here in a khaki, which is sort of like a traditional, cargo kind of look, right, on the man. And you can see it's a little bit more fitted in the bottom here. It definitely has the drawstring waist because it's elasticized. And you have the cargo pockets on the side. It's more of a more slim fit short here. You can see in the shorts version as well. And you can really see it here. See how that tapers so much more from the knee down? That's what I'm talking about, is a little bit different here. But yeah, I mean, I feel like men like fitted pants, like you see it a lot. So I could see this being a good pattern for anyone really, because I think you could, I think patterns really don't have any sex or gender. So you can make it for a woman as well. But I think this is actually a cute pattern, and they give it an average. So it's like a rated 3 right in the middle of their 5-point scale here. I probably wouldn't do the shorts, but I could see the pants. I just traditionally think of my cargos being baggier, so I would probably skip it, but it's a cute pattern, and I'm just happy that they gave the men something in this release. I don't usually get too excited about Burda patterns, but I actually am pretty excited about this one. And admittedly, maybe that swim accessories pattern. But anyway, I really like this jumpsuit. If you know me, you know I love a one-piece look. I love dresses. I love jumpsuits. Anything that I don't like have to purposely match, right? I think is a win. And this is cute because it has like, let's look at the line drawings. It has this drawstring in the waist to sort of cinch you in. I think there's probably some elastic in some of these rows as well. You're also going to have 2 length options in this capri of view A and the full length of view B. I am usually a wide leg, full length jumpsuit kind of gal, so I would probably lean towards view B. But I do like this back of view A because it's cute and like a little bit different. Maybe your bra straps would show. If you care about that, you'd either have to wear a braless or with a strapless bra. But I like the little bit of interest that's brought in with more of like this halter style back. But view B has a bra friendly option that's sort of like a mirror of the front. And so I think that's really cute as well. I actually like both of the model sew ups here. You can see on view A, you have this like sort of like hand stamped look of a print on this jumpsuit, which I usually like really bold print. So I think this is cute, but I actually really like this solid color better. You can see more of the details in the drawstring of the waist. And I think that that is cute. Like you, no, that's just a repeat. Okay, here's the back. I actually wish the back could be the front of one of the options. So I think that's really cute. Maybe there's a way you can modify that to work somehow, put in a dart so you could have some room for your bust. But anyway, I think this is cute. But I also like the solid version as well. This is just a jumpsuit that I could really see myself making and wearing. So I'm I'm definitely going to get this pattern because I could definitely see myself wearing it. Not that I don't have enough jumpsuit patterns already, but I don't think I have any that are quite like this. So I'm probably getting it. I'm a little bit on the fence about this pattern, and I really would like to know what you guys think about 5818. It's just different to me. Let's look at the images first. If you haven't already looked at this on the website, you're probably think that this is a dress with a cardigan, and you think that this is a shirt with a cardigan. Both looks, I think, are sort of cute. I don't like this one as much. The belt on the dress really sort of pulls it together, but it's giving you that spring or fall layered vibe that I think a lot of us actually wear. What is interesting here is when you look at the line drawings, you can see that this is actually just one piece. This is blocking with a faux panel for a dress and a cardigan fabric. So it's basically a cardigan that you're going to put like this panel in front of to be a dress. So this is really a one-piece thing, even though it looks like a two-piece. Again, I think the belt on the model really brings the dress look together, but they've also done it here with a little bit of gathering at the shoulders for the short sleeve version. Of course, you could take the long sleeves from that and add it, but for the shirt version. So I don't know if this is ingenious or not, right? Because this is a look I think many of us sort of wear, and maybe I'm dating myself, I don't know, but I feel like this is a look that, you wear because you're going out, you might be a little chilly, you want a cardigan. There are a lot of these like full length cardigans for sale. Mimi has one, Black Fern has, like there's a lot of these versions, but this has like the built-in dress panel. My concern is I'm sort of hot natured. So what if I wear this out because I'm thinking that it's a day that I sort of want to kind of be layered, but then I can't actually take off my layers? Then what do I do? Am I just hot? I guess, right? Anyway, it's just an interesting concept. Again, I like it much better with the belt. I would make this or not. Let me know what y'all think. This one's really interesting to me. I want to know what you think. When I first saw this pattern, I sort of thought it was just like a typical V-neck sort of fitted sheath dress pattern, although view A does have like this fuller skirt. But let's take a look at the line drawings for this one first, because that's where I think the interesting stuff happens. Okay, there's a lot going on in this midsection. Do y'all see this? You sort of have like this curved umpire waist thing with then like a yoke and then this gathered sort of skirt. Like there's a lot going on. Even on view B, you still have this curved umpire waist yoke that sort of wraps around to the back in the terms of a waistband. And then this dropped waist yoke with darts that then extends into a pencil skirt. I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm a rectangle and like right now I'm even bigger in the middle because my fupa is fupaing. But I don't like this silhouette. But let's look at it on the models. I'll be fair. Everybody ain't got my body. So let's look at it on the model here. And you can see in the floral dress, you sort of lose the details, right? Because there's so much busyness going on with the print, but they give us a close up of that later. And then here in the light sort of burnt sort of like corally red color, you don't see as many of the details until you do the zoom in. But I want to show you this on the yoke first. I mean, on the floral first. The only thing that makes this pop is sort of the piping here. You also have this slight crossover here in the bust with the V that I didn't see until I looked at these images. And then the cute little ruffle on the sleeve. But then let's go and look at the solid in the details, and you can see the curve, the crossover, and then the skirt. I can only imagine if you really have an hourglass figure, this must be flattering, but I can't see this looking good on a lot of bodies. I mean, again, wear what you want. If you make it, you can wear it. I wear whatever I want. So I'm not telling you not to. I just don't know that this is the most flattering dress for most people, but flattering is in the eye of the beholder. So do you? It's just not a pattern that I would go for. 5821 is sort of just like an easy breezy spring dress. You can see it here has like an umpire waist with these ruffled sleeves and just a loose gathered skirt. You also have the other, oh, let's go back to it on the model. Yes, you also have the longer length with a little bit more detail because they added trim here at the hem and I believe and also at the waist and on the straps. And this is just the perfect dress to wear out in like summer heat, right? Where you just don't want anything to touch you. You want to be comfortable. You want something light. You'd make this in like a linen or a challis or a lightweight crepe, you know, something like that. It's going to be probably a really simple dress to sew. They call it easy or a level 1. So this would be good for a beginner. You can see here on the line drawings that they do have some bust darts here so that you have a little bit more fitted in the bust and you just have a very loose, light gathered skirt in either the shorter or the longer length, depending on what you want to do. You could also do the ruffle sleeves or the trimmed sleeves, or you could do neither. You could just do straps for sleeves. But yeah, this is a cute pattern. I'm not really sure I need it because I have a lot of spring and summer go-to easy to make dresses. I don't know that I need to add any to my collection, but I think this is a cute pattern nonetheless. If you saw my Vogue spring review talk like this, you'll know that some of the looks that were in that drop were giving me Little House on the Prairie. 5823 is also giving me Little House on the Prairie, but a little bit more modern, a little bit more boho version, if you will, of Little House on the Prairie. Let's look at the pictures first for this one. You can see on the dress, I don't know if it's the color and like the gradient sort of like lacy vibe here that's giving me the boho aesthetic, but that's more of what I'm getting here. You can see that on the neckline, you have that sort of pleated and ruffled collar, which is really what gives me that like peasant, like that Little House on the Prairie kind of look. And then you have a drawstring waist here and just a full long skirt. Now, on the blouse, I actually really like this fabric because y'all know I'm a sucker for polka dots, right? So I'm not as mad at the blouse, but you're going to have the same details that make it a little Victorian, right? You're going to have these little pleats and you're going to have this like little gathered ruffled collar. It doesn't irk me as much here as it does on the dress, although the fabric choice, again, for this dress is giving me more boho than Little House on the Prairie. So I'm sort of feeling the dress. I mean, not really, but it's better. The blouse, I think it's sort of cute, but I think they're winning me over with the fabric here. And we can look at the line drawing and you can see a little bit more of what I'm talking about here, where you have the ruffled neckline and then you have the trim or like the little pleats. And you also have a ton of little pleats in the back. I don't hate sewing pleats, but these kind of little tiny pleats, because I actually really like pleats, but these kind of little tiny pleats seem like they're going to be a pain to sew. So maybe that's another reason why I probably won't be getting this one, but it's not a bad pattern. It definitely isn't irking me as much as the Little House on the Prairie vibes from the Vogue release, but it's just probably one I would pass on. We have a coat pattern here, and I feel like this kind of coat jacket pattern is popular for spring because it's giving me sort of the vibe of a trench. You can see here on the model that the sleeves on view A are sort of like a gathered full balloon sleeve. It also has hidden snaps that are behind here, which allows for a very clean look on the front. And then you have more of a crop jacket. Well, it's not really cropped. You have more of a regular length, hip length jacket in this very bold print. So you lose a lot of the details, but we will look at the line drawing. So you can either do the longer length with the fuller sleeves, or you can do a more traditional looking jacket here. Let's look at the line drawings. Now, view A again has this interesting detail on the sleeve. It also has the belt loops and the option for the belts. Here you can see the optional, well, not the optional, the hidden snaps. And then you have just a nice little collar here. So I like view A. It's different. I've never seen this type of sleeve on a jacket that I can recall. So that is an interesting detail. And then when we look at view B, you have more of a double-breasted look in the 6 buttons. And you have more a traditional sleeve that's a split 2-piece sleeve with the button detail. So I actually sort of like both of these. I have enough jackets and I don't wear a lot of jackets, so I'm probably not going to get this one. But the sleeves on view A sort of tempt me, if I'm being honest. For 5826, we have like a shirt dress moment. Now, let's look at the line drawing for this first because I talked about this in a previous video. I am a fan of shirt dresses, but I like traditional shirt dresses where the button placket comes all the way down, like an oversized shirt that you're wearing as a shirt dress would. But what is unique about this, and I'm showing you on the line drawing because it's actually sort of hard to see on their photographs, is it has this wrap detail option for view A. So that's something I've never seen in a shirt dress. I'm not sure that I like it, but it's definitely different, right? And you can see that view A has a little bit more of a fitted silhouette. So you have these fisheye darts in the back for a little bit more fitted in the waist, I guess, to accentuate the wrap detail in the front. And then for view B, you have the pleat in the back that gives you a little bit more roominess when you're wearing it. And you have some bust darts, but you have a split sort of hem here on the side, which is cute, I have to admit. They both have a collar and then like sort of a half placket here. So it is an interesting look. Like I said, how I feel about traditional shirt dresses, I'll probably skip this one, but I want to show you how, I don't know why they picked this fabric where you sort of lose the detail of the wrap. But a wrap shirt dress is definitely something that I've not seen before. So I will give them credit for being different. And then here you have the striped version, which I like mainly because I just like stripes. But again, I would rather that this placket go all the way down. But either one of these could be really cute in any type of shirting, cotton, Ankara, African fabric, like in a drapier fabric, if you want a little bit more swish, sort of like you see here, or like I said, in 100% cotton, if you wanted more of like a fitted, more traditional poppy shirt dress look. But I'll be passing on this one because I have way too many shirt dress patterns and I don't know that I'm sold on the wrap, but I do think it's a unique detail. I've said it before and I will say it again. I don't get vests. Like if your body is cold, why aren't your arms? Like more than likely my arms are cold and my body's not. I don't know. I just don't get it, but we're going to talk about it anyway. We are looking at 5827 where you can see you have like this sort of longer look of a vest. Let's look at it on the model. You have sort of this longer look of a vest where it comes down more like to the hip. And here they have it in like a bosé or tweed. It's 3 buttons down the side. There's actually a little tab detail here at the waist. And then you have it here where it looks a little bit more like a cargo jacket because you have cargo pockets. We can look at the line drawings to see that a little bit closer up. Again, I just don't get vests, but let's look at the line drawings. Here you can see that view A again has these tabs that come around the side and you have 3 buttons. The back comes forward for like a forward shoulder seam here. And then you have just patch pockets sewn on the front. View B is a little shorter and it has the cargo pocket. So it's giving me more of like a fisherman tackle jacket than just a vest. But I mean, like this is like you're going on a safari, like you're about to be on Jurassic Park or something. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, I'm just not a fan of vests, so this is not for me. But if you like vests, this is probably good. They do level this as an advanced pattern, so definitely not for a beginner sewer. It has all 4 dots here, so you know, do with that what you will. 5828, I actually thought was a teen pattern, but it says Mrs., so we're gonna call it a Mrs. pattern. They say that it is unisex as well down here at the bottom, which is definitely true. So, you know, do with that what you will. Let's go ahead and look at the images first. You can see that you have this color blocked option. This one just has a normal hem and a normal sleeve with a hoodie option. And then you have a cropped version, which you can see here, hopefully has a hemband and cuffs for sleeves and another hoodie. They all have hoods for this. And then this one is more the length of view A, but you can't really see it, but there is a band. So I do like that they show you all 3 looks actually on the model, and they do that for almost all their patterns, which other pattern companies don't do. So that's cool. But you can see here on the line drawing, view A does have this 2 sleeve split here. They have it color blocked as well. And it has no cuff or band here on the sleeves or the waistband. View B is going to give you a cropped option with a hemband and sleeve cuffs. And then view B, well, this is actually view C. Why did it say view B? Is going to give you the hemband and the cuffs on the sleeves but it's going to be the length of view A. So I think all of these are cute because I've been really into hoodies and sweatshirts and stuff for the winter months, but you know, these kids will wear hoodies all year long. So I could definitely see this being made. I like the option for color blocking. I just have probably hit my quota for hoodie patterns, so I'm not sure that I would get this. But if Miss Socialite says she likes it, then I'll grab it so I can make it for her. 5830 is another jacket pattern, but this one is going to be single-breasted. You can see on the pattern cover here that you have 3 views. So the first one is going to be more of a crop version with 3 buttons. The second one is going to be longer with 4 buttons. And then view C has this sleeve detail of like this pleated trumpet kind of sleeve. You know, I always like to look at the line drawings. So let's go down to those so we can see the details. And you can see here that view A has this sort of split sleeve, which I've never seen this done like this. But it's a raglan sleeve, which I'm a fan of. It has a crop length, so you only have the 3 buttons. View B is essentially the same as view A, but lengthened and adds an additional button. And then you can see view C is pretty much the same as view B, except for we added this pleated like flutter sleeve to the end. This jacket just isn't my style, so I won't be grabbing it, but I could definitely see it working in a lot of people's wardrobe, especially if you're like more of a business professional, because I could see this being a nice jacket to wear over a chic dress or like a shell and a pair of pants, sort of like the models have it on here, to wear to work or something sort of business casual. 5837 is a skirt pattern, and you can see here on the envelope, they dressed it up and they made it casual. So let's take a closer look at these pictures. You can see on the dressed up version, you sort of have this like yoke for the waist, and this is ruched or gathered. And then it goes into more of like an A-line skirt at the bottom, which I don't really know that I'm a fan of. Like we already talked about my fupa and attracting attention to the waist. And then this one has more of a fitted yoke and then this gathered skirt at the bottom, which is different, I guess. You know, we can look at those. We can look at the line drawings for a bit more detail. And you can see here exactly what I said. You sort of have like this piece yoke that's very fitted with the gathered skirt for view B, and it's a little shorter. Or you have view A that's a little bit longer, has the side slits on both sides, and then like this gathered action on the front. They both have a side zip. I'm just not a fan of this style of skirt, but I definitely think it's different and unique, and I could see somebody working with it. It actually reminds me, not exactly, but reminds me of a dress that Mimi G released on Simplicity several years back. I actually made that skirt. It has like the same sort of yoke fitted from the waist to the upper hip, and then it's a gathered skirt, but that one actually has like a button placket on the front and an added cargo pocket. So it's sort of giving me that same vibe. I was a little lighter then. I don't know that I would want to direct that much attention to my fupa now, but if you do, or more importantly, if you don't have one, then go for it. I think it's cute, and you can see here how it can be dressed up or dressed down. It's just not a skirt that I would grab. I don't actually have a lot of skirt patterns, period, to be honest. 5838 is an interesting dress, which just like the skirt before can be both dressed up and dressed down. We can look at the images first. You can see here you lose all the details of the dress. So maybe we actually will start with this view. This view is giving me sort of mother of the bride, or maybe elder bride, or I don't know, something more semi-formal. But you can see that there's this crisscross detail here in the rhinestones that just give you a little bit of interest in the bodice. Now in this satin, again, in the rhinestone is giving me more semi-formal, but in the floral, you're actually really, well, I don't know that this is floral, this sort of like graphic print, you sort of lose all the detail of the X. So I'm not really sure why you would do. I wouldn't go through the work of putting that in to put it in a pattern that you can't see it. But like from a distance, I like the way that this pattern fits this model. Like, I think it's cute. This one, I think it's cute. I like it, but I don't know. I wonder how much detail is involved in putting that that X in. They're calling it easy, so maybe it's not that hard. We can look at the line drawings here and you can see the detail here. They're calling it a contrast. It's self here, but it's pretty much just like an A-line loose kind of dress, just with that crisscross detail on the bodice and these under bust darts. Yeah, I don't know about this one. I like the overall look on the more casual look, but I don't know that I need this dress pattern in my collection because I have so many. Burda 5839 is a blouse pattern, and I always say I need to sew more tops, so I really need to try harder. I actually think I like this view of blouse. I just don't like that they did it in a satin, like you just see all the wrinkles and the shininess. I don't care for that. But you can see it here in more of this like eyelet or lace fabric. I like how they keep the detail of the raw edge of the fabric here on the bottom. And this sleeve has a little bit of detail here near the cuff, which we can see in the line drawing in a second. But I don't know. It's so hard for me to get excited about tops. Let's look at the line drawings. Here you can see that this is a very sort of basic blouse pattern. You have this little detail of the pleats or the sort of panels in the front, folds in the front. You have your cuff and a gathered sleeve here. You have a collar stand, but not a collar. And then on view B, this is this little puff action that I was talking about. You could sort of see on the eyelet version with, I don't know if this is still called a cuff, but it's more of a simple cuff. Like it's not thick, it's just the band. So, I mean, I don't dislike it. I just can't get excited enough about it to think that I want to buy it. But I do think this would probably be a good sort of staple pattern to add to your wardrobe, maybe. I don't know. I'm not excited about it, but I don't hate it. We have another jacket pattern in 5840, or a coat, they call it, and a vest. Again, I've said my piece about the vest, so we're just going to skip over that for now. Let's look at the line drawings here. For the jacket, for both of them actually, what I really like is how the back folds all the way around to the front to make this cute shoulder detail seam that goes right into the two-piece sleeve of the coat. So I think that's nice. I like the inverted pleat on the back that gives you a little extra room, and the fact that it has the belt loops and the belt, the welt pockets, and the tab on the sleeve. All of those are cute details. And then for VB, again, vest that I don't get. I don't like the patch pocket. It has the elastic in the waist. It's, again, giving me very Safari, Jurassic Park vibes, which is not a vibe that I'm typically trying to give. We can look at it here on the model. Again, nothing wrong with it if you're looking for this style of jacket. I think it's really cute. This is giving me a little bit of shoulder pad action, but regardless, if it's something that you want, I think you can wear it. I just don't get vest, and I could find another trench coat pattern. Actually, Nikki of Beauty J'adore dropped the perfect trench coat pattern, in my opinion, in her latest Know Me make, but they actually stopped the sizing on that on a size 18. It didn't even go up to the usual 22 or 24 or possibly 26 that the Simplicity, the Big Five brand, usually goes up to. It literally stopped at 18, which we all know is more like a ready-to-wear 12. So I cannot wear that pattern, and there are too many details for me personally to want to tackle extending it to my size, because it had the flap on the front, the flap on the back, the pleat, the wristbands, the belt. It had everything I ever wanted in a trench. It's just too small. So my trench coat pattern days will still be searching, because I'm not a fan of this one, and the one that I love, they won't let me have in my size. So I'm gonna keep saying that. I'm mad if y'all can't tell. Anyway, we have talked about this before. I am a shirt dress fan, but I am particular about my shirt dresses. This one is not a traditional shirt dress, which is what I'm usually looking for, but it is interesting, so I'm willing to give it the benefit of the doubt. We will look at the line drawings for this one first. And you can see here on view A, it has the roll-up sleeve option with the little tab, which I always think is cute. I like, because again, I'm hot-natured, so what if I, need to roll my sleeves up a little bit? They'll stay up with the little tab. I think that's cute. You have front pockets with buttons, And then you have the placket that goes all the way down for the button up front, which is what I look for in a shirt dress. But you have this interesting thing here where you have a waist seam and a gathered skirt. And this one has cute little curved detail at the bottom. And so that's different. I've never seen that, I don't think, in a commercial pattern. And then you also have the option here to do it as a top or a tunic in view B. So all the same details, but just shorter and straight across, no curve on that one. So it's also telling you here in the description that this is an all-arounder for spring, which I would agree with, right? You could wear this on a lot of different occasions. And it says it's, excuse me, a curvy cut that goes up to a size 60 now, which is nice because we're all for size inclusivity. And so let's take a look at it on the models, which they actually are using fuller size models here as well, which is a nice touch. Oops, which is a nice touch. So you can see here, I don't really like this print. It's not doing it for me. So let's go ahead to the tunic. You can see this a little bit looser fit here. And then you just have the gathers. This one has just the collar stand and not the collar. The other view has the collar attached as well. So this is an interesting take on a shirt dress. I'm not sure that I'm going to buy it because, of course, what my mind went to is I could just hack off one of my shirt dress patterns at the waist, gather some panels, and essentially design this myself. But sometimes I'm lazy, and I might not. I might not want to do that. And I don't know that I have another shirt dress pattern that has the details for the little tabs for the sleeves. So this one might be worth getting. We'll see. 5842 is another men's pattern, albeit a very simple one, but I guess men can never have enough button-up shirts. So this is definitely what we have here, a casual shirt option. And you have two views here, which we'll look at in the line drawings first. You have view A that has more of a traditional button-down placket. You also have two patch pockets at the bottom and like the chest pocket up at the top, as well as more of a traditional cuff here, yoke in the back, yada, yada, a typical shirt. And then view B, you have a short sleeve version that has not the placket, just like the buttons. Like this is probably going to be like interfaced and folded over here. And you have more buttons. I'm always against more buttons. But anyway, these are both, you know, basic shirts that you expect to see a man have on in the summer and springtime. As we look at the drawing, I mean, the photos, though, you can see that they have this one more as a jacket. I guess a shacket for a man. I don't really know. It's a little bit looser cut and he's wearing it over a shirt. And then the other one, he has wearing it as a traditional, like sort of like Hawaiian, you know, summer button up kind of shirt. So, you know, pretty basic, but that's all the men sort of tend to get. So this is what you have. I actually love this green, and whatever fabric they use is really gorgeous, but it's still a pretty basic pattern. But I mean, you know, that's what you need sometimes. Burda 5843 is this shirt pattern that is interesting. I can't tell if I like it or not. In the looser sort of, well, in the drapier fabric and with this tie accent, it gives me a little bit like business casual vibes, or I don't know, just sort of casual. I don't know what I'm trying to say. It's giving me sort of Burda 5843 is giving me interesting looks. Like I think the two views look totally different, and I've already said I need some more shirt patterns. So you can see in this view, they've used like a drapier, lighter weight fabric, and it has this tie detail at the waist that I actually think is sort of cute. It's sort of giving me business casual vibes, but it's also like a little dressy. Okay. And then here in what looks to be more like a shirting or a cotton or like, 5843 is another top pattern, and I don't know how I feel about this one. You can see in this view, you're going to be having like a looser, drapier, crepe, like rayon, challis kind of vibe. It's giving me sort of like business casual, sort of dressy. I do like how the tie like sort of accentuates the waist area there, like that adds a little bit of detail. And then you can see it here in the more like cotton shirting fabric. I can see it like in an Ankara, just it looks a little bit more structured because you don't have that same drape. And then you have some details here with the piping at the neck and the hem. So that's interesting. And like I said, I do need more shirt patterns, so I'm trying to see if this is one that I would incorporate in. I sort of like the drapier look better than the structure look, but let's take a look at these line drawings as usual. And here you can see that it's definitely a dolman sleeve, which is nice because that makes this easy to sew. They definitely have rated it easy up here. And you have this wide sort of neckline here where you can play with the piping like they do on View B, or just use the same fabric here. Like I said, I do sort of like the ties. This is a shorter sleeve. This is a longer sleeve. It's probably, again, a really easy shirt to sew up, and you could do it in a variety of different fabrics and get a variety of different looks. So it may be worth getting, but I'm not 100% sold for some reason. Lastly, we have 5847. There are actually quite a few patterns in this drop, you guys. And this is a blouse pattern, or that's what they call it. But when you look at these images, you can see that this view looks like a blouse. Again, I'm not a fan of their fabric choice here, but you have this little detail in the sleeve that we'll look at in a bit. But you can see that this other view, they're actually, again, wearing more as a jacket. And I'm not a fan of this. I don't get why I would want a cropped button-up blouse. Like, it's weird. And then I don't know why you would wear this with shorts, but that's a styling problem, not a pattern problem. Anyway, let's take a look at the line drawing so we can look a little bit closer at these details. You can see on view A, it's more of a traditional blouse pattern where it buttons up. It has a collar stand, but not a collar, although you could use the collar for this one. And then you have more of a traditional cuff here with like a gathered sleeve a little bit at the bottom and curved details here at the hemline. What I don't like about this is the gathers at the neck, at the front, and the back. That is giving me a little matronly in a way that I don't know how to explain. You can't really see it on the pattern because of, like, on the photo because of the really busy print that they use, but I feel like I wouldn't like that in real life. And then here you have more of, I guess, it's not a shacket. I don't know, whatever this is in the crop length and the bands, but not really like the cuffs with the gathers and the collar here. I'm really not a fan of view B. I could see you making something happen with view A, but I don't know. I'm not really a fan of this one. I feel like I could find other blouse patterns that would be more interesting than this. Well, that's all the patterns in this release from Burda. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. You know I love to reply and interact with you guys in the comments, so let me know your thoughts. I want to say a huge thank you to all of you for the viewership hours that you've been giving me this year. I finally hit the first stage of monetization here on YouTube, which allows me to get super thanks, which you'll see down below the video box. And those super thanks come with like a donation or a gift where you can start as low as $2 or as high as you want to go. And any gift that I get through the super thanks gets me that much closer to bringing you more high quality videos, because I want to bring you sew-alongs and learn to sew videos and things like that. So expect a lot more from me in the future, and just know that any gift that you can give me would be greatly appreciated. If you cannot, no problems, give me a thumbs up and a like, or subscribe to my channel so that you make sure you see all the videos that I have coming for the rest of 2024. And until next time, happy sewing. Bye.